Hey everyone, it's Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. Welcome to my channel. I do lots of nail tutorials here. I love trying new different DIY at-home nail products. And today I have one of the new releases from Dashing Diva. This is their Dashing Diva Chromagic Chrome Gel Kit. I bought this with my own money. This is not a sponsored video. I'll put links for everything I'm showing in the description box. And if you do want to pick something up because of this video, I always appreciate if you use my links. That allows me to just keep the channel going and keep making some money to buy and try new nail products. The kit comes with quite a few different things. It has the strips, the chrome powder, a little power cord, and the gel lamp. My suggestion would be to invest in a full-size gel lamp if you're going to do gel nails with any sort of regularity. I'll put one in the description box. I have a nails list on Amazon basically, and I added one there that I see a lot of nail techs recommend for at-home use. The one that I'm using and I'll be using today is not made anymore, but there's some other good options that you can pick up. The kit also includes a no-wipe gel top coat, which I honestly really appreciate. Even though I have a few gel top coats on hand, I don't want to contaminate mine with the chrome powder, so I really appreciate having a dedicated top coat to use with this powder. If you've seen any of my nail videos, and if you haven't, that's okay, but if you've seen any of them, you already know that I see nail prep as the most important step. It is even more important, I would say, than the application, although of course application is also crucial. But we're going to start by pushing back cuticle. I prefer to use a metal tool. You just have to be careful, don't get overzealous, because you don't want to start leaving ridges and divots in your nails. But you see all that stuff that is kind of getting picked up here? All of that is just dead skin, and we don't really want that hanging around. I prefer not to cut my cuticles. I don't trim them. I simply push them back, and then I try to in between nail sets, or even while I'm wearing nails, just not day one. I like to apply cuticle oil and different lotions and just kind of keep the area well cared for. I have kind of let go of my nail care for a bit here. It's been hectic. If you're a regular viewer, you know that I haven't been uploading as often as I would like, but that's because we're moving, selling our home, we've had viewings, inspections, all kinds of things. So it's been a little bit not our norm here, and my hands are definitely more dry and kind of crappy looking than they usually are. Regardless of all of that, I'm pushing back the cuticle here. I love this little metal tool. It's great. It's very handy. It also has a little pokey side here. I don't use this pokey part a ton, but sometimes if you have a lot of kind of crud come off, it's nice to take this pokey part and simply run it along the base here and just scrape off all of that stuff. But again, don't go overzealous. This is especially nice when I do my child's nails because kids oftentimes have oilier nail beds and their cuticles are just out of control sometimes, so this is really good to push them back. So it's up to you if you snip your cuticles or not. I leave mine alone. The kit includes a couple of these single-use prep pads, and the purpose of those is to degrease your nails. I always wash my hands, fully dry them before doing a manicure. I also avoid any lotions, creams, anything greasy pretty much. And then after the manicure, I like to try and not get water. I don't do dishes, I don't shower, I don't bathe. I will often go wash my hands though, just to make sure there's no residual materials left because I'm very prone to eczema. It's up to you if you want to do that or if you need to do that. I feel like for me, the benefits of washing off any residue outweighs the risk of possibly shortening the lifespan of my manicure, but usually my manicures last just fine as long as the products are good quality. This will also wipe off any of that cuticle dust or anything that we kind of loosened up with our little metal prep tool. The kit includes white and black strips. I prefer dark colored non-see-through strips. I'll kind of attempt to demo why. Actually, it's hard to see on camera, but pretty much these white strips, they are see-through. You can see my pink little tool through them. And so if you do a slightly less than perfect application, you're going to see lint or anything else trapped under there, or if you have any texture, a lot of the times you can see that on the light sticker a lot better. I do like that they included that, but I'm going to be using the black ones today. Now, these stickers themselves do not need the lamp. These stickers are already cured and they're made, as far as I understand, specifically to be used with this powder. So I'm simply going to pick the sizes that seem to fit my nails. They have a protective strip over the entire section here. I prefer protective strips that go over individual stickers more, because then the ones you don't use stay protected with a strip. These are also slightly tacky to the touch, and I think that's made with the powder in mind, so that powder would stick to them. They have a slightly more narrow side here and a slightly wider side here. My nails are definitely slightly more narrow toward the cuticle side, so I'm going to be placing these in that way. I'm going to place the slightly narrow side to the cuticle. These are very thin and pliable. And then I want to line them up to be as close to the cuticle as possible without overlapping. And I like to sort of loosely place any brand sticker like that and make sure that it's straight up and down before I smush it. Now I'm going to smush it. This is different from any other stickers I've used because it's that tacky sort of finish. And then I'm using this tool. I highly, highly recommend you pick one up. Some brands include them. I think Lid Gels does, or I think Lid Gels includes them. Anyway, I think honestly all nail brands should include this little tool. It's amazing. It's a rubber tip cuticle pusher, very, very inexpensive. And you want to get that to get all the bubbles out. Now I'm seeing that I kind of placed this sideways a little bit, or the one side didn't have as full of a coverage. So I'm going to attempt to reposition it. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. I may have just wasted a strip, but let's look. No, I think this one is actually too thin. So this is one of my pro tips, basically. If you are doing a manicure and you find yourself picking up the wrong strip, you applied it and it's just not doing it for you, it's a little crooked, it's a little too wide, it's a little too narrow, just go ahead and redo it. There's honestly nothing worse than doing your nails, finishing them, and then something going wrong, something lifting, or simply just looking off, and that would bother me the entire duration of the manicure and actually make me want to take it off sooner than maybe if it were done properly. Okay, this one is much better. Kind of a fine balance. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. These ones don't stretch the way a Hora does or Dashing Diva glaze. These ones are very thin and kind of cured already, and so the size you pick up is the size that you get, so there's no trying to make it wider. Something to keep in mind. Again, I really wish that this strip had individual little components, because constantly lifting it and putting it back down is annoying, but then I feel like anything extra that I have left over, I would want to protect it with a strip, but whatever, I guess. Let's do one more. Another interesting thing about these is there's a very thin, translucent, almost like a border around the black. So the sticker is actually just a tad, like maybe like, I don't know, not even a full millimeter, not even a half of a millimeter, but just there's a very thin, like a lip around the black that's clear. And it's a little weird. It makes it harder to position because I don't want anything overlapping the skin, but I also want that color, that dark, to be as close to my skin as possible. But I think this looks pretty good. So once they're on, and I'm going to finish the hand off camera, but basically once they're on like this, we're going to trim them. You can use clippers if that's what you're used to. I'm used to manicure scissors, and I'm going to cut mostly just the sticker. I'm going to leave some of that nail there because I'm going to file them. And this is also different from the kinds that you cure, because the nail stickers that you cure, you would trim them, then cure, then file, but these ones I'm going to need to file a little bit of that extra rough edge there. I'm going to need to do that before I do the chrome powder. The included file is actually pretty nice. It feels like it's nice and gritty in a good way. So I'm just going to file a little bit just on the sides here and just take off all these little corners that make it look like a sticker versus like I painted my nails. I applied the stickers to the rest of my hands, and honestly, very stressful process because they're thin. They do show all the texture. They're kind of hard to apply in a nice, neat way if you have textured nails like mine. but also when you go to file, all of the filing nail dust ends up on the stickers because they are kind of tacky to the touch. But that's okay. Let's keep going. The next step is to do the powder. The brand includes a little applicator, kind of like an eyeshadow applicator. I set mine into the box because I'm trying to minimize the mess. So you dip the applicator into the powder. You don't want too much on. And then you apply it and rub it onto the stickers. It does look super cool when you're applying it. And if you're peeping my other hand, you will see that I already did that. And that's, yes, I did that off camera because I wanted to practice with the powder a little bit without filming it. So you apply it like that. I will say that it highlights all of the imperfections on the nails even more than if you weren't using the powder and were just using the stickers. So that's something to keep in mind if you have textured nails like mine. This part is very simple and kind of fun to do. They do say to brush off excess powder, but don't include a brush to do that. I didn't do that with my other hand. I am just being careful to not apply too much, basically. And if there's some in excess on the sides on the skin, I know that will wash off when I wash my hands. So we're just gonna go through and do that to all of the nails. It does look very cool. But honestly, as I'm spending more and more time on this manicure, it's not looking as perfect as I would like it. It's highlighting all of the imperfections. It reminds me of these metallic finish Jamboree stickers. Way back in the day when Jamboree, the MLM, was a big hit. I actually sold those nails for a little while. Well, longer than a little while. I have a video about what a fiasco that was ultimately. Anyways, they had these metallic finish stickers, and they had this effect without needing to do the powder step. And those also highlighted all of the imperfections of the nails very, very obviously. Once the step is done, and I'm using the clean tip to kind of brush off a little bit of the excess powder, now we're going to go ahead and do the gel top coat. The gel top coat is a must for these stickers, even if you don't do the chrome powder. So if you decide to do a manicure where, I don't know, a couple nails are chrome and then one of them is not chrome or something like that, you will still have to do a top coat because the stickers are tacky and you don't want to be gathering lint from everything for the duration of your manicure. So I always start by capping the free edge with the top coat, and that's to just seal that because that's one of the possible kind of trouble areas where you could start having lifting, or sometimes you can get lint or something like that trapped under there. So I always do that. If you get gel onto your skin, that does happen sometimes. It's not a huge deal. Just make sure you wipe it off. Sometimes I use this tool and then use the wipe that I had, the prep wipe, to wipe the tool on. Or you can take a nail brush, a clean nail brush. You can get those very inexpensively on Amazon and dip it into rubbing alcohol, let's say, and wipe that off. What you don't want to do is cure the gel onto your skin. So again, I'm going to cap the free edge here and then apply the gel to the rest of the nail. And I think this set could really benefit from a builder gel or something like that to build up the nail a little bit, to add thickness, to hide some of these imperfections. Because if you had a little buckle, a little wrinkle, which is very easy to get with these stickers, again, because they're so thin, if you had any sort of imperfection like that, the chrome powder highlights that so much. It makes it so much more noticeable than if you didn't have the chrome powder on. And yet, obviously, the chrome powder is the main point of this entire set. That's the whole reason why I bought it. Here's the finished look. Do I hate it? No. Does it meet my standard of what a good manicure should look like? Also no. Plus, I found myself being progressively more and more annoyed during the application process. I liked applying the powder. That part was really fun, actually, and different because I've never done chrome powder before, ever. However, you can literally see every little ridge of my nail. There's a little bit of buckling on some of these strips, and keep in mind that I've been using nail stickers in some capacity for about a decade now. I am not a licensed nail tech, but I'm also not totally new to nail stickers. So I think this is one of those things that is just going to be very tricky to have looking perfect. And I like my nails to look perfect or as perfect as possible. I do like the finish, but I think that you can find a sticker with that finish already included, or maybe get press-ons with chrome finish and skip all of that ordeal. Again, if these looked great, if the finished result was awesome, then I'd say sure, yeah, let's invest a little extra time into doing these steps. I could put up with a tacky, weird stickers, but I think they at the very least need to be a little bit thicker to hide some of that texture. And I also find that thicker stickers apply better. They are harder to wrinkle, they are harder to buckle. And I say thicker, but I mean a pleasant, good thickness, not so thick that they look like, pieces of plastic on your nail. So this is the finished look, and while I'm not mad at it, this is just not for me. It was way too much work. Not the powder part, but it takes a lot more time to apply these weird, tacky, thin stickers than it does to apply just regular stickers. So let me know what you think. Would you have tried them? I do see that Dashing Diva has some Chromagic little sets, not the kits, but they have some sets where I think you only get the stickers and the powder without the lamp and the top coat and all of that. So maybe some of those are better. I don't know. I got the set because that was the first thing that came out, and then I kind of hung on to it because I figured that it would take me longer to film than, let's say, a regular nail sticker video. And like I mentioned earlier, life has been just a little bit hectic lately, to put it lightly. So anyway, let me know what you think. Do you like these? Can you see the imperfections? Am I the only one super picky? Because I can definitely see them, and I know they're going to drive me absolutely bonkers as I look at them. Like even here, there's a little something here. It's like a little fold right there. And I didn't see it when everything was black, but now that the powder is on it, I can definitely see it. So thank you very much for joining me today in this wild and somewhat unpleasant manicure. If there are any other brands you want me to try, or if you have any questions, leave me a comment. I do have playlists, a big nails playlist with everything in there, and then I have some themed ones like the press-on ones and the UV ones and the non-UV ones. So there's lots and lots of content for you to check out. But if you have some other suggestions, I'm always open to ideas, and you can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, my blog KBeautyHobbit.com, and my private Facebook group Korean Beauty Fanatics. We're at 99,000, hoping to get to 100K this year. We'll see. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a wonderful week, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.